Welcome students. Today we are going to start that new chapter, chapter 9, coordination compounds. So what these coordination compounds are, let's discuss about them. See, in 1930, Alfred Werner, he got that Nobel Prize for the experiment what he did, and he only described what these coordination compounds are, and because they are very that important molecules, because the biologically also this coordination that compounds, so they were playing very important vital role. So he explained everything, because of that he got that Nobel Prize. Okay, so Alfred Werner, so what he started with, with the help of experiment, see, he observed that ionic precipitation reaction is known to us, that AgCl, that precipitate we are going to get when this silver nitrate, excess of silver nitrate, if it is added to that sodium chloride solution. Okay, so we know that the aqueous solution of this ionic compound, they are going to ionize, and these ions they will form the precipitate also, if in case of AgNO3, so that precipitate of AgCl will be formed. So similar type of reaction he performed with a coordination compound. Okay, so what his observation was, let's see. Alfred Werner, so he has chosen this cobalt, this COCl3 and 6NH3 he has taken. Okay, and excess of AgNO3, silver nitrate, he has taken, he added to this compound, and what he found that 3 moles of AgCl were formed. Okay, first case 3 moles of AgCl he got. Now the next part, suppose the same he has taken again COCl3, and this time what he did, you can arrange it like this. You can write in this manner: CO, then NH3, 6, and in the square bracket write it down, and then Cl3 outside. Okay, so this was the first case. The second case was this cobalt, NH3, then this is 5, 1Cl inside the coordination sphere, means the square bracket. Okay, outside we are writing Cl2. So in this case, the same AgNO3, this was taken in excess. Okay, then in 2 moles of AgCl was formed in the second case. In the second case, see, this was the that arrangement. Okay, then next he square bracket, this one is, okay, so cobalt, this NH3, 4, Cl2 and Cl. Okay, so in this case same AgNO3 was taken in excess, and 1 mole of AgCl we got in the third case. Okay, so in these 3 cases, in the square bracket whatever is being written, okay, the bonds which are found here, the species which are present here, so they are not ionizing. Check it out. In the first case, 3 chloride ions which were written, see, outside. So these are ionizable. They were ionizing. Chloride ions were formed, and this was that combining with the this Ag, and then AgCl was formed. So 3 moles in this case, because 3 chloride ions written outside, 2 moles of AgCl, because this chlorine which is written outside this square bracket, so they are ionizable. And see, in this case only 1 chlorine is written outside, so this will ionize, and the species which are written inside the square bracket, so they are non-ionizable, and because of this reason only 1 AgCl was formed. Okay, so he said, Alfred Werner, he said that the species which are written enclosed in the square bracket, so they are non-ionizable and the different kind of bond is present here. Okay, why we are actually saying the different kind of bond? Because see the here also the metallic ion is present, metal ion, so they are see up to that alkali metals, alkaline earth metal, what we are knowing that they are having electropositive nature, means they are capable of losing electrons. Okay, so no doubt that these metals also are losing electrons. Okay, but this instead of see the only losing electrons, one more property is associated with this metallic that ion. What this property is, they are going to act as Lewis base, Lewis acid. Lewis acid means they are going to accept the electron pairs from the ligands. Ligands is the name, ligand is the term given to the that species present with the that metallic ion. Okay, in this case, see, cobalt is present, cobalt is the metallic ion, and metal will be the transition metals only, means alkaline earth metal and alkali metals, these are not going to participate in this complex formation. So this kind of bond this bond is called that coordinate bond, and the coordination compound, or you can say the complexes, because the complexity is there. Okay, the ionic bond, very simple, that we are knowing. So that ionic bond, different from that ionic bond, this coordinate bonds will be present here, and in this case the metallic ion that losing electrons and gaining of electrons also they are showing, and they because of this they are acting as Lewis acids. Okay, so what Lewis acids are, we see different acids and base that theories are there. First of all, we started with what? Arrhenius. So we were knowing that all the substances which are capable of furnishing H plus ion, so they are called as acids. Okay, and the bases are OH negative ion they are furnishing in their aqueous solution. So this was the definition given by Arrhenius. This was Arrhenius concept. Now the next concept also came into existence. What was that? The proton acceptor and proton donors. Okay, so proton donors means the substances, suppose HCl. So according to Arrhenius, what the concept was, the H plus ion that furnishing H plus ion, the substances which were capable of furnishing H plus ion in their aqueous solutions, so they were called as acids. So this was similar to the Bronsted-Lowry theory also, and bases, the different idea of that the different definition of bases we got in Bronsted-Lowry. Acids were the same, but bases were the OH hydroxyl ion. So that was furnished by, that was released by this substances, and these substances were given the name this bases. Okay, OH negative ion, hydroxyl ion furnished by bases. This was Arrhenius concept, and in case of Bronsted-Lowry theory, the proton acceptors are the bases and proton donors are the acids. Okay, and we also found that many of the substances they were not having this OH negative or H plus H plus ions. Then also they were showing the acid base that they were also giving the properties of acids and bases. So for these species, for this kind of that ions, the Lewis acid and bases. So he gave, his approach was what? The Lewis acids were capable of accepting the electron pairs, and the electron pair donors were the bases. Okay. So these metallic ions, they were acting as Lewis acids, means they were accepting the electron pairs. Okay, so we will talk about this coordination compounds in detail. Let's understand. So this was the first experiment which made Alfred Werner to think about the coordination compounds. Okay, So in this case, what we have observed, the species which are written inside the this square bracket. Okay, this is called as coordination sphere. Okay, so this is coordination sphere. Let me tell you the terminology. What terms we are using here? The metal which is present inside the square bracket. This is called as metallic ion. Central metal ion. Central metal ion. Okay, and the species present with the central metal ion, so this will be called as ligands. Okay, so ligands, and the the counter ions also are present, either the negative ion or positive ion also you may see. If we are taking example of K4FeCN6. Okay, so in this case K4 means counter ion is a positive cation. Okay, because we all are knowing always K potassium will have the tendency to lose one electron, +1 oxidation state, definitely +1 oxidation state, and always this potassium is going to show you this +1 oxidation state. Okay, so K4FeCN6. This, in this case, the this coordination sphere is having that negative charge, -4 negative charge. If you want to neutralize this, then 4 negative charges that will be neutralized by this 4 positive charge, and because this 4 positive charge you brought here, so the this molecule, this compound will become that neutralized. This will not have any kind of charge in absence of K4. Okay, if you are not writing K4 here, potassium here, then you will mention the negative charge. Otherwise, this will be the neutral molecule compound. Okay, so let's see what the coordination compounds are. So you write down the points. Werner's theory, what the postulates are. So you write down postulates of Werner's theory. Okay, so first point you write down, central metal ion will be transition metals only. Okay, and not from alkali metals or alkaline earth metal. This is the first point. Now this second point, so the central metal ion will be transition metal only. Second is the compound, the coordination compound will show, this will be the that special property of coordination compound. Okay, so coordination compound will show two valencies, one primary valency associated with oxidation number of metal, and are ionizable, So next is secondary valency ionizable, written outside the coordination sphere. CS we are writing coordination sphere. Okay, and secondary valency is related to the number of ligands present with the central metal ion inside the coordination sphere. Okay, so two valencies this coordination compounds are showing. One, that primary valency, that is related to the oxidation state of this metallic ion, and that counter ion will be written outside the that coordination sphere, so they are ionizable. The example just now, one coordination compound I quoted that example. Okay, and the secondary valency is related to the number of ligands present with the metallic ion, which is enclosed in the square bracket. Okay, so this was primary valency, secondary valency, very new idea. Because this we haven't seen neither in the case of ionic bond or the covalent bond. Very special property, the coordination bonds are having two valencies, they are showing primary valency, secondary valency. Okay, so now next, third point, hope you noted down this, third point you write down. Third point, ligands can be either anionic species or neutral molecule, that we will discuss in detail. Neutral molecule possessing lone pair of electrons also are present. Okay, and what else? The neutral molecules, suppose you are actually talking about what, water or ammonia, so the charges are not present here, but then also the lone pair of electrons these atoms are carrying, means nitrogen is carrying one lone pair of electron in case of ammonia, and in water the oxygen is having two lone pair of electrons. So in this case the electron pairs will be given, they are actually the electron pair donors. Okay, the ligands are electron pair donors, and in this case the central metal ion will act as Lewis acid. Very important part, Lewis acid, by accepting the electron pair from ligands. Okay, so these are the different points, different postulates of Werner. So Werner theory, what he said about central metal ion, the central metal which are present in case of a complex or the coordination compound, so they will be only the transition metal. What the reason is? The reason behind this is this transition metals are having the vacant p and d orbitals. See what exactly this means. Hope you noted down these points. Let's now understand what the coordination compounds are. See, coordination compounds, we are actually taking one example also we have seen. This is what, FeCN6. Okay, so potassium hexacyanide ferrate, this name will be given to this compound. Okay, cyno also we can say cyno, but the correct word will be cyanido, है ना? So what and the nomenclature of this or this coordination compounds, that also we are going to discuss about them in details, but after this one by one, step by in sequence we will move ahead. So see here the K4FeCN6, this is the compound, coordination compound. In this case the central metal ion is this iron only. Okay, so this electronic configuration of iron will be what? 26 electron, that atomic number of iron we are knowing. So how they will be arranged? Here you will write AR, means 18 electrons up to this means this noble gas we are writing, and then the other see 18 electrons we filled, we need to fill 4s2 3d6. Okay, this will be the electronic configuration of iron. So in this case we also know that the fourth shell also, the filling of fourth shell also now has been started. Okay, so the fourth shell, we all are knowing that this 4s, the fourth shell will have the other p orbitals also and d orbitals also. So they are lying vacant. Okay, so now in the excited state, earlier we have seen that hybridization, for that the first excited state, second excited state, like that the bonds were formed. Okay, so instead of making that kind of bond, what they are doing, they are providing the 4 p electrons and 4 d electrons for the ligands to that donate their electron pairs, and these orbitals they are having in order to keep the electrons which are donated from this from the ligands. Okay, so the different type of that bonds now we are observing here. The central metal ion, we just till now what we were knowing, that metals are having the tendency to lose electrons, but here what we are observing, that the atomic orbitals which are lying vacant, so these atomic orbitals can accept the electron pairs from the ligands. Okay, so this was the very different property of the coordination compounds, which was explained by Werner. Okay, so in 1913, Alfred Werner, he got Nobel Prize for this. Why? Because the coordination compounds are very much important. They are of great importance because very commonly that biological molecule which are present in human beings also, that hemoglobin. Okay, so in hemoglobin also he found that iron is acting as central metal, that ion, and the complex hemoglobin also is coordination compound, is that hemoglobin also is coordination compound. So which is very important, that role that hemoglobin is playing in human beings. And also the chlorophyll. Okay, so in chlorophyll also magnesium will be present, and see the magnesium also will be what? The coordination compound. Okay, and many other that proteins, so they are also having the complex structure, so the same that coordination compounds, so they are also type of coordination compounds. And so this coordination compounds, what exactly will be the pattern and what will be the shape, so all these shapes also, everything was being explained by Werner. And one more, yes, fifth point you should write, fifth postulate you write down about this Werner's postulates of Werner. So in that fifth point you write down that different spatial arrangement, spatial SPATIAL, okay, spatial arrangement was observed in coordination compounds. Okay, coordination compounds which imparts different colors. So they imparts different colors. So this property also different color. So this 4-5 postulates we are having. The spatial arrangement, different spatial arrangement, the coordination compounds they were showing. This was based on the coordination number. Coordination number means what? This is also one of the terminology we all should know. See, the coordination number means the number of ligands present with the metallic ion, central metal ion with them, the other species which are present. So ligands which are present. So number of ligands, that will give you idea about the coordination number. Okay, and oxidation number, we can calculate the oxidation number in the same manner. We always the other ionic that compounds in which the method of calculating this oxidation number, so that will remain the same. If you want, you can take this example. Here we all were knowing that the potassium, this will have what? +1 oxidation state. 4 potassiums we are having, that is why +4 oxidation state. So in absence of this potassium K4, okay, so 4 negative charge will be acquired by this on square bracket right hand side top corner you will write 4 negative like this. Okay, you will show this charge. So this coordination sphere will acquire what charge? -4 charge. So if you are letting the oxidation number of iron be x, okay, so and we all are knowing that Cn will possess what charge? -1 charge. Okay, and this will have -1 charge. This Cn negative cyanide ion is possessing 6 cyanide ions we are having, so -6 charge. So this will how you can calculate? X minus 6 is equals to -4. So this will give you what? X is equals to +2. So this iron will possess +2 oxidation state. Okay, so this we are going means this is the same that method we were applying in other that ionic compounds. So like that only we can find out, we can calculate the oxidation state in case of this coordination compounds also. Okay, now let's see what the ligands are and what central metal ion, how they are actually forming bonds. Each of this part we will discuss. Let's start with what? Ligands. Okay, ligands, the different types of that ligands. On the basis of donor sites, ligands can be classified as first unidentate. Let's take one example, unidentate, then didentate and polydentate. Okay, with the help of example we will understand what these terms means. Okay, unidentate. Dentate word, this is actually related to your denture or dentist. This is a familiar word for you all, I know. This is what? Dent, teeth. Okay, so how we are actually we are catching with this teeth only, hai na? So in this case the unidentate means they are having one donor site, one teeth, with that they are holding the ligands. So unidentate ligands. So unidentate ligands means, the example you can quote here, chloride ion, this bromide ion, iodide ion, or this Cn negative ion. So this also will be what? The unidentate ligands. Okay, didentate means what? Didentate, the example is, see here, this methane, you are having CH2, and here you are having NH2. So this is what? Amino group. So what the name is? Ethane 1,2, or you can say ethylene diamine. molecule. This is ethylene diamine, or you can say the short form is EN. Also you will see that many of the places you will find this EN is written. EN means what? Ethylene diamine. So in this case the nitrogen will have lone pair of electron. Here also nitrogen will have lone pair of electron. So these lone pair of electrons will be given to the central metal ion. Okay, central metal atom. Sometimes the metal ions, so they are metallic ion and atom, both words we are using, because you will see the examples where the metals are not being converted into that ionic form. Metals, they are showing zero oxidation states also. So those examples also we will quote. In Mond's process, that for that carbonyl nickel, so in that case we are seeing that oxidation state will be zero. So those examples we will quote later on. First of all, one by one you will try to understand what this didentate means. What? The two donor sites means the two nitrogens here are going to donate the electron pairs to the metal ion. Okay, so this is called as ethylene diamine, ethane 1,2-diamine. Two nitrogens, they are going to give their electrons to the metal. Okay, now polydentate. So polydentate, what the example is, see here in this one only, this see, you can write it like this: CS2 N H H H H, and now this is N. Okay, so H2, this was ethylene diamine, and in place of this H is replaced by, if this H is replaced by acetate ion, H is replaced by acetate ion, here also this H will be replaced by this CH3COO negative. Here also CH3COO negative. So 4 acetate ions are present here, and acetate ion, after losing H positive, so they have actually acquired what charge? Negative charge, means they are having the electrons also present here. So this see 4 oxygens in acetate, 1 2 3 4. So you all can see that 4 donor sites, oxygens, they are also acting as the donor sites, donor atoms. Along with them the nitrogens also which were present here. Okay, so here this nitrogen and nitrogen, this nitrogen and this nitrogen. So these two nitrogens also are going to act as, they are also acting as the donor sites. Okay, so 6 in this case, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, 4 acetate ion, oxygens in acetate ions, and nitrogen here. So 6 donor sites are present. That is why this will be called as hexadentate ligand. Okay, hexadentate ligand. Hope you understood. Now the next is ambidentate. So I am rubbing this. Ambidentate. What ambidentate ligands means? Ambidentate ligands. Okay, so what exactly they mean? Suppose you are actually talking about nitrite ion. So in case of nitrite ion, what the structure is? This, है ना? So if your metal ion is bonded with, suppose this oxygen is going to give its electron to the metal that ion. Okay, if this metal ion is going to get the electron pairs from this oxygen, then we are going to call this as nitrito. See, we are using O word, means we are replacing the E with replacing this E by O. Nitrito we are saying. In bromide also bromido, that ido. So these kind of things we will see. So in this case nitrito O means here we are writing nitrito O, or O, or you can say O nitrito, like this. Okay, so O nitrito means this nitrito means bond is formed between this oxygen of nitrito, and then with metal this kind of bond will be formed. And this MB, MB means both sides. So you will also observe this kind of bond also. This nitrogen, because the lone pair is present between present on this nitrogen also. Lone pair is present on nitrogen. So if this lone pair will be given to, if the bond is made with this, okay, instead of oxygen, if nitrogen is going to provide its electron, lone pair of electron to this metallic ion, then this will be known as what? N-nitrito. This will be called as N-nitrito. Okay, so this will be what? Means two donor sides, either oxygen or this nitrogen. If they are providing their electrons to the central metal atom or ion, then this kind of ligands will be known as the ambidentate ligands, means either this or this. Okay, they are having two options. So two options they are having. So in this case you will see that hexadentate ligand, polydentate ligands, in this case the metal is going to get the electrons from all the 6 donor sides. Okay, so this will be called as the chelation of the metal. Chelation means what? The process where the ligands are going to form the bond, going to provide their electron pairs to the metal, and they are surrounding the atom from everywhere. So this process is called as chelation, and this chelation is responsible for more stability of the complex, more stability of coordination compounds. So this kind of question also you may see in one marks question. So do remember that chelation means what? Chelation is responsible to increase the stability of the coordination compounds. Why? Because more that binding sites they are having. So they are going to surround the metals in this form. So this was all about the denticity, and then in the next video we will learn about how to name the coordination compounds. Okay, so I hope you understood all the ligands, the types of ligands also. So you can rewind it if it is if you missed that, you can rewind it and you can nicely note down everything, and then in the next video, that IUPAC nomenclature of this coordination compounds, that we are going to start. Okay, so in this part I hope you understood what the ligands are, what the coordination compound is, and what are the different constituent the coordination compounds are having, what exactly we have learned. The first let's summarize this whatever we have learned within 2 minutes. Let's see what we have learned. First of all, Werner, he actually experimented with one coordination compound, that cobalt was the central metal atom, and there he found that the species which were written inside the square bracket, so they were not ionizable. Yes, if you want, sorry, that part also is missing in Werner's postulate. You can add one more thing, that the all the ions which are present inside the square bracket, so they are non-ionizable, and the outside counter ions which are written outside that square bracket, so they only can ionize. Okay, this is very important part that I missed, so you please note it down. 5-6 postulates you got, Werner's. And central metal atom, that can be only that transition metals. Do remember this. Okay, the reason is because they are having the empty that p and d orbitals with them. Okay, vacant d orbitals and vacant p orbitals also are present in them. Because of this, they are acting as Lewis acids. Okay, this is very different part which we were knowing till now. So with entirely different from that, we have seen here that the central metal ions are also acting as Lewis acids. They are accepting the electrons. Okay, they are providing their orbitals for the keeping the electrons, which they are accepting the electrons from the ligands, and ligands can be either the anionic that species, or they also can be a neutral molecule, but the neutral molecule but also possessing what, lone pair of electrons. So they are the donor atoms. Okay, on the basis of donor sites, we have seen the ligands can be of various types. The first, unidentate ligands, where the donor site only will be one. Okay, and the didentate ligand means two donor sites. If see, in this case we have seen the two donor sites this ethylene diamine was having. If you want one more, that oxalate ion, okay, very common example, this oxalate ion COOH, this is oxalic acid, and if this oxalic acid, if they are furnishing this H plus ion, then they are left with what? This COO negative. So you can also write this is C2O4 negative, oxalate ion. This is what? Oxalate ion. And OX, this that short form we are using, OX. Okay, this oxalate ion. So this is also will be the example of this didentate ligand. And polydentate ligand, this hexadentate ligand, very commonest example, we are actually calling this as EDTA, all capitals. Okay, so this is what? Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. This ligand is EDTA. Okay, so I hope you understood till now, and in the next part we will talk about the IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. Thank you so much.